Troll Lord Games. I'm Daniel from Haunted Holler Painting, and I have the illustrious Dale in the chat with me today. Um,
Illustrious.
Hopefully, this will kick Reaper off. There we go. There we go. All right. So, let's see here. Let me pause my stream there so I don't have to listen to myself talk. All right, guys. So we are talking next few weeks about starter paint sets. Okay. And oh, by the way, my finger is growing back. If you can tell, there you go. It was the right one there. So it is starting to grow back. It looks a lot better. I accidentally burnt it today too. Anyway, so and
This tragedy.
oh, I know. I'm horrible. I'm like the clumsiest person in the whole world. And if you notice the mat, I just picked it off today, and all the paint from last week, I just picked it all off. Yeah. So that miniature from last week, I'm sorry guys, it was horrible, and that was only because look at that. It's like a monster, and it's partly the model because compared to other versions of this same model, the face is kind of sunk in a little bit, and and the fact that I use craft paint. Craft paint is real. Okay, as I said before, I used to paint with craft paint all the time, and I thought it was amazing, and because it was so cheap, and then I started using real paint, hobby paint that is, and so like I fell in love with using that, and then I thought I could go back to craft paint because I learned a lot, and I thought it would be easy, and I realized it was like fighting a battle. So, yeah. So tonight,
She looked pretty myself.
well,
I found it quite attractive, which just proves I have no idea about anything when it comes to painting.
that's
Really.
fine. Now tonight we're going to be painting this lovely Minotaur from Reaper Miniatures right now, and you notice that he does not look primed. He looks like he's still a Reaper's bone, and that is a yes or no thing. So he is technically primed, and the reason why I say this is sometimes on Reaper's bones, I found that it is better to prime it with a can of ultra matte clear coat versus primer, because I want to use the white. Now, this right here is some green liquid, green stuff that I shoved into the crack to try to seal it up a little bit. These are just leftovers from one of the bone Kickstarters somebody gave to me. So we're just trying to work our way through it and using it to paint with. And so tonight we are going to be using paint that is very special. Do you know why it's special, Dale?
Because I'm a special fellow.
No, it's special because it's made in America.
Oh, right.
So, okay, as you all know, like most model paint is actually made in Europe. So it has to be shipped to America. We have Vallejo, which is made in Spain. We have Cote d'Arms, which is made in England by, I know the parent company that makes it. Then we have Citadel, which is also made in England. And what a lot of people don't know is the parent company for Cote d'Arms is the same parent company for Citadel. So, yeah. The only difference between the two is the medium that they use. Then we've got Army Painter. Army Painter is made in, I believe, Poland. So, and then we've got, I think it's either Poland or Denmark. I can't remember. Then in America, that's the only ones I really. Oh, I've another War Painter, which is made in Greece. Let me look at my rack here, see what I got. Okay, we got War Painter P3. P3 is actually made by the same company that makes Cote d'Arms. The same factory. Let me rephrase that. Let's see. Okay, and all these are our primary paints that we use in the hobby industry. Now there are 3 other companies. Okay, one of them being Reaper. Okay, you probably, if you were here a few minutes early, you saw that we were streaming Reapers. feed tonight. The other one is Monument Hobby. They're a new paint company, I think a couple years old now. And then this latest one is the new kid on the block. Okay, it's out of Oregon, and it's called Imperial Hobby Paints. Now, they have a limited paint range right now because they did what's called a wave one. And so I think a lot of it was probably test colors to get, things going, colors that they thought that they may have needed. And these paints are actually kind of cool. We'll get in that in a minute. But they do seem a little bit more pricier than other paints, and we'll get into that here in a minute. But that's because mainly there was probably a startup cost in there and a lot of testing. Now, I have been talking with the owner, and he said that the prices will probably be coming down around $2 a bottle. So instead of $7, it's going to be $5. Now, that is on the higher end of model paints. Now, if you compare it to some of the Vallejo colors, like the Model Airs and stuff, it's about the same. Now, I've been playing around with them just a little bit as far as getting it used to the textures and things like that. They are what I would consider airbrush ready. I haven't airbrushed them yet to try this out, but they're thin enough to be airbrush ready. They are specially formulated. This guy, I've been talking to him. He has a buddy who's a chemist, and so his buddy developed a new medium for him to use these paints with, and it is a vinyl acrylic resin medium. Now, what does that mean? I don't know. I know it's going to dry plasticky, as far as that's what I take from the word vinyl. But here's the cool part about this. These are liquid pigments. Okay, so what does that mean? Now, in your current model paints, they use a powder pigment, and that's because, they can load a lot of it up, get a good opacity. Now, if you let your paint set for a while, all that stuff settles to the bottom of the paint. And you got to sit there and shake it up. Well, not with liquid pigments. Now, I've been shaking these things out of habit, and I don't really have to shake them because it's almost like the pigment stays suspended in the medium. Now, the medium is, as I said, fairly thin. We're going to play with these tonight, but I'm going to go ahead and go over the colors. Now, I will show you how they come packaged. This was how they come packaged. Now, they've got 3 sets that he's got right now. Okay. So, and you've got the War to End Wars kit, Scavenger's Toolbox, and the Magic Portal Pack. We're going to be using a couple colors from each one of these, and they come like this. Now, each one has, aside from these 2 colors, I did find that I had a duplicate color, and it was, I believe, the white. I'll have to go back and look. But each container has these 2 right here in it. Okay, High Noon Shade, which is your wash, and this Caesar, I don't know how you pronounce that, metal base. Now, this is a very bright silver. Now, this is the only metallic in the set. There's a reason for this. And see, there I go, shaking it again. It's because you're to take whatever color you want to make metallic and mix that color with the metal, and therefore you'll get your color. Like if you want to make a gold, you would mix a little bit of yellow and orange possibly. So we're going to be playing around with that tonight because I haven't played with that part yet. So I'm going to set the High Noon Shade aside. We're going to be using that tonight, and this metal base. So that's this one we're going to be using. So they all come like this. What I really like about this, first of all, is these boxes, paper, cardboard, biodegradable. The packaging's biodegradable. Army Painter, you get them, there's a big plastic tray in it. Nobody uses that tray. You just, if you're like me, I got a wall of paint, and I just stick them in the thing. I really like that. So I can either reuse these boxes after I hang these on the wall, or I can turn around and throw them in the trash, and they're going to be perfectly okay because they'll decompose in the garbage. That's really cool. Now, I haven't got used to this next part yet. These bottles are black. I don't know why. I will tell you, me being colorblind, I it's fine because it doesn't really. I mean, I can see the colors in my other bottles, but half the time I have to get up there and read the names of them because I'm red green colorblind. Now he did put. Now when you get them, the colors are in the top of the lid, so that's pretty cool too. But I'll always use the name on the bottle. Usually for my colors. So this is the first set I'm going to open up. This is the Scavenger's Toolbox. These colors look more like what I would use for, say, Fallout. You got this Necro Flesh, which is a dark brown. We'll probably be using that tonight. And, of course, Neptune's Wrath. That's a dark blue. Rusty Dust, which is a rust color, a reddish brown. This Deco Pink. This one's called Archaic Ochre, which is a ochre. Then you've got this Eerie Mist. I think the Eerie Mist is the one I'm going to duplicate of. It's white. And then you've got Rain Steel, which is a gray. So I'm going to set the Necro Flesh aside. I think I'm going to be using it tonight. Then your other two boxes, you've got the Magical Portal Pack. So let's look at this one. You think we'll probably be using this one a lot. It's like it's geared towards Dungeons and Dragons type stuff. So that's... Sorry, that was mine. It fell in there while I was moving boxes around. Okay, of course, the High Noon and the metal base. Then we got this Elven Sunset, which is a yellow. We'll be using that. We've got this orange, this Fianine orange. And if I pronounce any of these wrong, just let me know. This is Byzantinum C. Then we've got Sanguine, which is a red. We'll be using that. Then we have Mystic Coat, which looks to be a blue. Is that blue? Is that blue or purple? That's blue. Is that blue?
You can't ask me these skill testing questions because I'm still waiting for the video.
All right. Well, we'll find out. And, of course, the Eerie Mist. We already got one of those. And this one's called Alchemist Slime. We're going to set that one aside. We might use that. We don't know it's a green. And you all know me. I'll end up putting these on the rack. Now this one is going to be more geared towards your war gamers, like bolt action and stuff. So you've got, of course, black, which we'll be using probably. Then you got fatigues, which is a green. It's a really good fatigue green. Let's see here. All right. Hey Derek, you got. Nice. Yeah, then you got Snail Shell, which is an off-white, which is cool. We'll be using that. Astral Auburn, which is a brownish red. I'm going to set that aside. We got Desert Sand, which is, of course, a tan color. And then we've got Highlands, which is a dark green. And then Great Coat Gray. So we'll set that aside. So, we're going to be painting with these tonight. Alright, and so the model just fell out of the holder. So I'm not really used to reviewing products aside from DOS, guys. So this is kind of new territory for me. So we're going to be painting this fella. I'm going to mix up a flesh tone if I can. Hopefully we'll get the closest one we can to it. So, let me wet my brush here a little bit. This brush we're going to use. We're going to use this guy. So, in theory, now I'm using my 3D printed paint pot tonight because I've never used it for paint before. So, I wouldn't have anything floating in it. Now, in theory, if you're going to mix a flesh color, you need these three colors. Now, what's awesome is that most people get these wrong. We've had color theory before, guys. So, did you see that color? I asked if it was blue, Dale. Was that blue or purple?
It's got a slightly purple tint, so it could be considered a kind of an indigo blue. Okay,
that's fine. So technically in color theory, we're not going to go through it again. I am going to give these a shake out of habit, because it's just habit. So we're going to add...
Now that I see it up close, it's pretty purpley.
Well, it shouldn't be too bad. We'll find out, because purple doesn't really exist, as we've talked about before. Okay.
Oh, thank you very much for reminding me.
And let's see here, red. So blue, red, and yellow make brown. which can be cut with other colors to make a flesh tone.
Snail shell with the Highlands brown?
We're going to find out. So let's mix these together. And if this turns out nasty, we can start all over again because we're playing today. Hey, look, it's a dark brown. Or a mid brown. That's a mid tone. Okay, now let's take some snail shell and see what we get. Ah. Okay. Alright, I see. I see where you get that at now, Dale. Okay, we're going to mix a little bit of snail shell in here. See what we get here. Okay, it's a little bit lighter. So,
You have to put your hat on backwards if you're getting that close to the camera.
Oh, I've been told to take the hat off. Oh, alright, I'm going to add a little bit of this orange to make some more red.
If I didn't say something, Ed McMahon would be rolling in his grave.
I know. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is attempt to put this all over here. So, I'm a little nervous, guys. So, okay, it's going on fairly thin, which is good. You don't have to thin your paints. Now, I will say one of the newest thing for hobby painters is to get used to is thinning your paints. Actually, I got too much paint on there. Let me clear it off. And we'll go over some of these colors here. I got colored cards that I made. So, one of the hardest things for especially new players or new painters is actually to get used to thinning the paints. Because sometimes you mix it too thin, you mix it too thick, and you just you don't do it right. So, and I really am enjoying how it goes on. There will have to have 2 coats on this. It's mainly because I'm putting it over such a bright white, and normally I'm used to airbrushing my flesh tones, which I'm trying not to use airbrushing throughout this entire thing because new painters typically don't own an airbrush, even though I do have one of the cheapest airbrushes out there. Eventually I'll be able to afford an expensive one, but it's not a priority right yet since my airbrushing skills are not that awesome. So, I mean, they're getting better, trust me. So we're going to and I've found that this paint, when I was doing it on paper, it does take a little bit time to dry for me. And it could be just where I was putting it on paper for my color charts. So, let's see here. That was the only thing here. I want to at least try to get it completely covered with this first batch.
Okay. Seems to be going on pretty smoothly.
Yeah, it is. It's like it's just coming out there, and it's not that bad at all. I'm really liking it so far. Now, I mean, it does feel like I've been thinning the paint down some, which is fine because, again, new painters don't know how to do this, and they slack it on so thick. You should have seen the first miniatures I ever painted. It was back in 1993, I think, and it was like the first edition, or not the first, third edition of 40K box set. I think it's the one that came with the orcs, right before the edition that came out with the Dark Eldar. And a buddy of mine's like, hey, can you paint? Because we split the box set. I took the orcs and he took the Marines. And he asked me to paint his Marines. And he asked me to paint them red, which did not look good at all. Okay. And I'm trying to paint to where y'all can see me paint. And I should have mixed up a little bit more of this color. Keep reaching down there, but like there's nothing down there to grab. Okay. See? Out of habit. I'm reaching down. Let's see here. I grabbed the other stuff by accident that I mixed up for highlighting. Okay. I'm still getting used to having silicone down there instead of a matte. also. I mean, we're getting good coverage. You always remember you're going to have to put 2 coats on, especially if you're using white. I'm just going to warn y'all now. It's not the paint that does that. Well, somewhat, but it's always the undercoat. So, and what's really cool about using white as well is it almost, with thinner paints, it almost acts like a glaze. So therefore, like your muscles are already starting to get highlighted. So we might actually not have to use. Trying to get this in here. Let's see. How many people we got in chat so far?
Oh, let me count. It will take a moment. The numbers are so fast.
Oh, okay.
We have 3 people who claim to be moderators, so we won't count that. We know one of them's Chuck.
Oh, yeah.
We want to say welcome to Bit Pumpkin, Dysphemus, Excel809, Imperial Hobby Paints, myself, Mythic Man 95, Rhino Dino 1973, The Geek Preacher, and Vic Danger 21. A couple of familiar names in that list. So that's not including myself. That's 8 people.
Nice. And I know we get people that watch it afterwards too. Let me tell you about Mythic Man 95 real quick. So this is my buddy Zach, and he's got a Etsy shop where he makes signs called Wayfork, and like he makes a lot of D&D based signage to hang up around your home and things. But one of his signs actually got put up on BuzzFeed for a thing you should get for your loved ones at Valentine's Day, and it was his Animal Crossing sign. So it's pretty cool. He has been covered up with work, and he can't do anything else. At the moment, he is in one of my D&D groups. So, and we,
well, congratulations on that.
Yeah, we do ministry work together as well. So he's part of Game Church. He's on the board at Game Church with me. Okay, so we've got that first coat on there, which is fine. Let's see what we can do here. Actually, I'm not going to use my highlight right yet. I'm going to mix up a little bit more of this. Let me hit it with the hairdryer from far away with no heat. Because if I put heat on it, it will literally melt this plastic miniature. Not melt it, but it'll get all soft and bendy, and I don't like that. You only do that when you have to reposition weapons. So far, so good. Now, I do note that these things kind of dry with a sheen, which is fine. Because, one, it helps with... it helps when you actually go to put a wash on. And then, 2, you can always cover it with a matte clear coat. I'm going to go over some of these colors. This first one I'm going to go over is the... this one was the Portal. So we're going to look at this real quick. This is the dried necroflesh. Okay. Got that dark, decayed flesh look. Neptune's Wrath is this really deep blue. It's with the rusty dust. It's a reddish brown right there. Deco pink. Archaic ochre. Of course, the white. Rain and Steel. I always love a good gray, by the way. And there's that metal base that we can mix with anything. And then this is what the shade looks like. So I'm excited to see how that shade works. Then the next one is the War to End All Wars. Okay, we've got our black here. We've got, my wife just popped in our bedroom. The fatigues, I really like that green. It's going to go well on my bolt action army.
I like that whole palette, actually.
Yeah, I know. It's a really good palette. I mean, it's hard to get together a good palette for World War II, and this looks great. Snail Shell, Astral Auburn, Desert Sand, Highlands, and then we've got this Great Coat Gray. Yeah, that's it. So, and I do play on Bolt Action. Don't get mad at me, but I play Germany. So... a lot of people like, why do you do that? I'm like, well, somebody's got to be that army.
It's a game.
I know. I know.
It's a game, everybody.
We got Alchemist Slime. Now, I will tell you, green is my favorite color. And I will tell you, out of paint colors, the green that is my favorite is Moot Green from Citadel. I just like how it's loud. It's a very loud green. Alchemist Slime, Airy Mist, Mystic Coat, Sanguine, which is your dark, deep red, Byzantine Sea. That's a good color. I just didn't realize that. The Flaming Orange or Fian. Is it Fian? Is it a L or an I? I think it's an I. And then Elven Sunset, which is kind of like a saffron yellow. Anyway, all right. Let's see here. Let's mix. See, now this is already starting to dry on the silicone here, but that's just the way it works on the silicone. I love the silicone, so I'm gonna actually use. Did I get that other one out? No. Let's just use this one again, and it's a little bit less than that. And then where'd my red go? Red. Necroflesh. Snail shell. Sanguine. There it is. So, Tyler, that's Imperial. Sorry if you didn't want anybody to know your name. Now, can I ask the reasoning, and I'm not complaining, behind the using the colored bottles that you did, the black bottles? And if it's company trade secrets, you don't have to say anything about it. So we're going to put another coat on. This one is actually a little bit lighter than the other one. It's more muted, which is fine because I didn't get the good mix like I did last time. So, but it's okay. We're going to come in and highlight it anyway. And again, this is just me doing base coats, and I really am not enjoying using this brush for base coats. So that. And this one's moving too much crap. Okay. Now, I have reached out to a few other companies to talk about their paint sets. Let's see here. Well, it helps with the separation from light, along with it's what we could source it. Oh, okay. I get the light. I didn't know if it had anything to do with the medium. So, because I know you were telling me that it had that resin medium to it, and I didn't know if it had anything to do with that. So, and if a lot of people don't realize, but I mean, if you paint models, you know it. Like it doesn't help to leave colors in the light because it actually causes them to fade. And I'm painting horribly to that. It's just base coat. So again, what my wife says, don't let me see it till I'm done. Till you're done. So I'm using my big ugly brush.
Well, he's a big ugly critter, so it kind of suits.
Yeah. There's certain monsters that I love. I love minotaurs. I love beholders. Are we allowed to say beholders on here, or is it eyeball monsters? Will we get sued?
Probably. Yes, I think your vast fortune is right now being drained out of your bank.
No, I
You're headed to jail.
I shouldn't have invested in GameStop. Sorry, I had to bring it up.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's a trending meme, so it's all.
I know. Yeah. All right. Let's let this dry. Let's get the black out. Actually, no. Let's use the Necroflesh. Actually, I want to use this for his hooves. So I think that'd be a good brown, deep brown color for his hooves. So I am going to go at this kind of like Army Painter. With Army Painter, I'm what I need to do normally. Okay, this is kind of thin. I hadn't played with this color yet. Army Painter, of course, it's, I slack it on, then I wash it, and that's how I teach the class. Because that's how a lot of beginners learn. So I'm not going to try to use too much of an advanced techniques that we have went over in the past. Okay, I see what's going on here now. Okay. Sometimes you have to put paint on it to see what the model's actually doing. You said this paint's not going to hurt me sticking my paintbrush in my mouth. And I'm going with that, Tyler.
It's a risky, laugh in the face of danger sort of lifestyle you're living, Dan.
I know. Yeah, I know. Let's see this real quick. It's kind of thin. Oh, hush. Now, I'm going to be... I do have a question for Imperial. When it comes to mixing your metallics, what is a good mix for, say, bronze? We're going to give him a minute to answer. Because I'm going to be painting some metallic here shortly. I'm trying to think about what color to use for leather. Let's try Highland. We'll use this Highlands color. We'll mix it a little bit with snail shell. I'm gonna hit it over here with the... It's just habit. I just do this out of habit, guys. With the mixing of the paint. I always want to give every paint their best due diligence. Okay. Now a little bit of snail shell. Bring that color up some. Yellow ochre, maybe some sanguine. Okay. Alright, I'll try that when I go to do that. Alright. I enjoy having the manufacturer with me in the chat because I can ask so many questions. Now, next week, if we can find the time, if he's available, we're going to have him come in with us, and we'll probably do it like a Zoom call. And we're going to ask lots of questions because I've always wanted to get a paint manufacturer and corner them and ask them a million questions about stuff. So hopefully that's what we're going to be able to do next week. It's going to be.
Isn't that almost labeled abuse in some country somewhere?
Yeah, it is in some countries. So now this is going on really good. Look at this.
That's already 3 different sort of variations on the basic color brown that you've done on this.
Well, I've already told you guys. Tell you all over and over again. When painting fantasy, the key is to have lots and lots and lots of browns. So one part's not dry yet, so I'll try to avoid it. Got a little too messy here. Okay. Get as many browns as you can and a couple of greens. You'll be able to rock and roll. Oh, I do like how it's going on. See, and I knew this would be happen, because this will become like my new favorite paint. I've already told him that it's going to put me in the poorhouse. Because I'm that type of person. Well, I'm that type of person. I'm a completionist, so it's like hard for me not to have everything. So it's part of my personality. So like, it's just like, gotta have it all. That's why I was never good at Pokemon. It drove me crazy.
Yeah, I think there might have been an element in that when I got out of Magic the Gathering. I saw people like spending huge amounts on single cards just to win this game, and I went, yeah, it's further than I'm willing to go.
Yeah, like I always built my decks. Either I bought the pre-made decks that they put out, the tournament decks, or I took and bought just booster packs and built decks from that. I was never one to like I had a roommate that would go on. He would sit there and design decks and go in and buy all the cards for those decks, but he wanted to be unbeatable. He had a boss that worked with him that he played Magic with all the time, and he's like, I'm gonna beat him no matter what. So I was like, okay, you have fun with that.
It's good to have a goal.
Yeah, I was too poor to do that. I was buying miniatures and painting them.
Now, I wonder how this would all look if you had have primed this figure black instead of leaving it black.
Well, I don't know. Now I did watch a couple of videos of some other guys using these paints, and it's one guy put the colors over black and did not have any issues at all. Um, so which made me really happy. Especially he used a white. He said, of course, you have to put two coats of white on there, but like he was very happy with his results. So yeah, it looked really
Again,
good.
I don't think that I've watched you paint anything in the last couple of months where you haven't said it's going to need a second coat. So it's
Yeah.
almost a fait accompli that you put one coat on and it's
Well,
going to need another coat. So just prepare for that.
it's a running joke, and the reason being is there was a guy who worked at Citadel by the name of Duncan. He no longer works at Citadel, but he has his own paint channel now on YouTube, and we'd always call him Two Coat Duncan and two thin coats, and that's what he would do is he would tell everybody, like, remember, thin your paints down and put on two thin coats every time. So, but that was Duncan. I did running, not him, but when Citadel or Games Workshop set up a booth at Gen Con a few years back, I walked up to him. I said, I need to buy two thin coats. And they just looked at me like, you're not funny. It's like, okay.
I wonder how many times in his life he got that at a convention.
Yeah.
Who could blame him, right?
Yeah. Man, so like one of the best painters that I've ever like sat and watched paint is James Wapple. I wonder what he could do with these. I got to meet him a few years back at Gen Con. He's a really nice guy. He's a Army veteran. I think an Army is either Army or Navy. I can't remember which one. But he tries not to use a brush smaller than an 8. Um, and that's the brush I'm using. Am I using an 8 right now? Yeah, I'm using an 8 right now. But he can paint so much detail, and he buys the craft brushes. Like he'll buy a new pack once a week, and so he'll get that and use those craft brushes up like crazy. So we're going to get the edge here. Now I'm going to do the strapping a little bit different of a color. So just to break it up some, because again we are using a lot of brown, so we're going to use a lot lighter of a brown. Sorry, my nose itches. ah. Try not to mumble, guys. I'm a mumbler at heart. I have to show this to my buddy Luke over at Luke's APS. So I used to paint for Next Level Painting. I don't know if y'all know who that is, but if you ever watch him on YouTube, he's like, "Yo, dogs, it's Kenny Boucher." But what he used to do is he had a team of painters that would just paint models for him. Like, and what I mean by that is like he didn't take commissions anymore. He would get commissions and he would send them to us. Of course, everybody had a different standard, so which is fine. Let's see here. Alright. Let's let this dry just a second. Let's see if I missed anything. Yeah. Let's get this undercarriage. Probably the best way to put it. I'm going to have to go back over that tail anyway. Doop, doop, doop. See, now, the thing is, though, I'm trying to get models done in a 2-hour period, so we're trying to give them as much detail and attention as we can. Like, the dragon that we painted took, what, about 3 weeks?
3 or 4 anyway.
Yeah, and I tried not to paint it unless we're doing it on air. Alright, so I'm going to take this orange here. Where did it go? Well, I lost it. There it is. Now, this is going to be something new for me, guys. I am mixing my own metallic. I'm excited. Because if this works out the way I think it's going to work out, can you imagine only having to have one metal color in your whole rack and then just mix it with whatever you want? This is a little bit ingenious, and I'm not.
I like the idea of being able to make whatever shade, whatever hue you want to be metallic, right?
Yeah. So let's try this. I'm going to start mixing the orange into this. Okay. I think I put too much orange in here, which is fine.
Oh, that's not possible. Too much orange. Is that possible?
Yeah. Let's add just a drop more of the metallic. Just a drop. Boop. I'm excited. Yeah, I mean, like, I collect metallics anyway. But, like, just being able to mix something on the fly like this. Okay, so I'm essentially going to paint the entirety of his great axe with this color here. And then
I'm excited.
I'm going to come back with a brown and fill in, like, the wood part of the great axe. But I'm going to try to do 2 coats of this here. Where I need it.
2 thin coats, right?
Oh, hush. We're talking windbreaker thin, man. You remember those Nike jackets back in the 90s? The tracksuit jackets. You remember those? I thought it was so cool.
I remember them from the 70s, young fella.
Well, they came back, remember, in the 90s. Like, and you'd walk around school. I was in middle school and you'd go whoop, 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 whoop. So.
Yeah, and the slightest breeze would go right through you.
Oh, yeah. But I thought I was the stuff wearing that thing. Okay, so. Okay, we're going to let this dry here. Who knows? We might just leave the whole thing like it's a full metal.
I like the color so far. It looks nice.
Yeah. I figure I can lighten it up with a little bit of yellow. Do some highlights. Let's let that dry real quick. Okay, let's hit it with the wonderful invention that I stole from my daughter a long time ago. No, I've got the cold air going out. Here, a little bit of hot air. My wife says I'm full of it. Oh, wow. Holy snap.
You can argue with your wife because they know better.
Look at this. Okay, alright. This is literally the coolest thing I've ever seen. Do you not see that? Has it caught up yet?
No, it hasn't caught up.
I made my
It's just killing me.
own metallic, guys. I made my own metallic. Oh my gosh. Okay, alright. If nothing else, just to make
That is gorgeous. That is
your
very gorgeous.
own metallic paint. Okay? Like, I'm giving it another coat real quick. And I've got to do his little hoofs. Because he's got metal on his hoofs.
That would be the second thin coat.
Yes. Okay. It's a really thin coat. I'm just slacking it on. Okay. Now let's do his hooves. Because he's got these little things on his hooves. Like little wart horseshoes. Oh, wow. See, I knew I was going to be blown away by doing this. But just that, because I've been looking over, people have been talking about this, and just the concept of this. I'm not going to ever have to go out, like, to, you know who needs to see this is Bake. Because we have talked upon talking using the Vallejo metal colors, the airbrush ready stuff to make certain colors, and mixing like our own types of shades for like his Chaos Marines and stuff. And like, I think he would get a kick out of this. You should get on Discord and tell him to get on here real quick. He's busy though. He's probably working.
No, he's he had to put our Monday night Traveler game on hold because he's so busy.
I know. I heard.
Felt he was a little overextended. Well, no, it's a game, so I mean, do what you got to do, brother.
Oh man, this is so cool.
This Minotaur for being a 2-hour project is actually starting to look really, really nice.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Part of it, I think, is the ease of the palette having so much brown in it. You knew it was going to go that way.
Yeah.
But still, it's a pretty good looking model already.
Oh. That's so cool.
We need to find a way to get some nice ambient music in the background.
Oh, I got the music to put in the background. I just rather talk. So.
Well, yeah, you just put it on really, really low.
Yeah. I used to listen to a lot of talk radio. So. Here's where I start doing the detail crap. Okay. Hello, Mr. Minotaur. I'm sorry, but this is so cool. Tyler, does this stuff mix with other brand paints too? I'm just asking, not like I'm one to mix it with other brand paints. But I'm just wondering how well the medium mixes with other stuff. I command you to answer me. Just kidding, bud. You do you paint. I know you're painting right now. Okay, I'm doing some bronzish highlights on his little, I guess kilt would be the appropriate word for this. I'm gonna have to
Battle skirt.
Yeah.
But I think kilt is like a fairly universally kind of.
So, you folks that use the apps to track your paint supplies, the three big ones that I know of are Miniature Painter Pro, Paint Rack, and Model Paint. I have these paints are so new they're not even listed there yet. I feel like I'm a test subject, and this is so cool. But anyway, they're not listed there yet. This is how new the paints are. I have contacted all three of those companies. They'll eventually be there soon. I know iModel Kit said they're pushing an update out this spring, which will have more paints in it, and they said that they will add this paint to the kit. They'll probably reach out to the owners to find out what they can provide as far as like sample colors. I've let Paint Rack know as well. Paint Rack's pretty good about updating their stuff every few months as well, and I usually talk to the guy who made Model Painter Pro every day. He knows about it, and he shall be updating his soon to include it. It's just he's a little busy. He's got a couple other apps he does as well. Now, I am going to tell everybody, if you are interested in buying these paints, okay, I'm getting ready to provide you with a coupon code. This coupon code was provided to me to give to you, so therefore you can save some money buying these paints. Now, I'm also going to provide the normal links that I provide you guys every week. One link is to my Patreon. This Patreon is not to make... I don't make a living out of this. This here is for me to teach people how to paint. I have a day job that I love so much. But like, I love teaching people how to paint, and this helps me stay in paints, and this helps me stay in models, and when I come up with new tips and tricks, it helps me pay for those materials that I buy at the hobby store. So I have 3 levels to the Patreon. I have $4, $5, and $30. Okay, now the $4 level is going to get you access to the Discord channel that me and Dale are currently talking on right now, and $5 is going to get you access to the Discord channel, plus access to any hobby hacks that I come out with. Like, I've showed you how to make your own washes, showed you lots of other cool things, how to make molds and stuff like that. And I will tell you, after we get through the period where we test out beginner paint sets, I am going to give you all a couple weeks lessons on how to make dice. I know some of y'all are interested in that. And then the $30 level is an hour of my time for you to get better at painting, ask me questions, for me to coach you. And if you would rather for me to paint a model for you, you can actually just send me the model and I'll paint it for $30. It's fair. As long as it's nothing, no Titans like this big right here. Okay. And then the next link is, I believe, to my Facebook group, Empowered Miniature Painters. This is a Facebook group that we have in order to help people with disabilities who are interested in the hobby, or people that just in general want to be good-natured about the hobby to everybody else. We get in there. We've been kind of quiet lately, mainly because of the virus. It's been getting on to my depression a little bit, and this group, though, we get in there, you post something, and we give you good feedback. We encourage you, no negative feedback. Sometimes you get on Reddit and post something, and everybody's like, oh, that's garbage. Why don't you pay somebody else to paint it for you? And then they offer their services to you, which is complete and utter trash. So we don't do that there. We try to be helpful to you. There that is. And then the next thing is the coupon code. If you go to imperialhobbypaints.com, or I think it's Hobby Paints, and decide to buy some of their wonderful paint and enter in the following code, is a coupon code. It is case sensitive. It is the word haunted with a capital H. Okay, I'm going to put the code in, then I'll get you the web link. Okay. There's the coupon code. That's going to get you 15% off in the store. This is my permanent coupon code with them. It's going to be good as long as they don't hate me anymore. Just kidding. I don't think they are going to hate me. I'm hoping I'll stay on their good side. But yeah, so just to help them out some there, let me give you the web link. You know how we do like to support American businesses here, especially at Troll Lords. It's one of our big deals at Troll Lords is to help the American business and stuff. So actually now we're going to add a little bit of yellow to this. I'm going to try to brighten it up some. But yeah, if you know anything about Steven Chenault, he tries to do whatever he can to keep it in country. Steven is a great guy. He has gotten to the point where he even prints his own books because of that, and does it for other people as well. Let's see here. Alright, so now I've lightened this color up a little bit, and I'm going to edge the blade some. Bring it down a little bit, not too crazy, like it's been used a bit. It's not much lighter than it was because I only put a little bit of yellow in it. Okay. Get back to this painting. Don't want to talk too much. I want you to try to get this guy done tonight. I haven't been painting a lot outside of the show lately, guys. And it's mainly because of just been busy with work and stuff and trying to hang out with the kids a lot more, because this timeline that we're in is kind of rough on everybody, especially when you have a teenage daughter who likes to hang out with her friends and she can't get to because we're in the darker timeline. So I'm going to just straight up make a yellow. Let's see what yellow looks like dried. Okay. So McDonald's. So did you all know in Japan at one point to train McDonald's employees they had a video game that was for the Nintendo DS, and you had to have a special code to unlock it. So I don't know how this is going to turn out. We're going to find out though. Did you know that, Dale?
I did not, but it doesn't surprise me because there are so many Japanese food-oriented games out there.
But
most of them having to do with some sort of panicky situation of either catching the cows, literally catching the cows and turning them into patties, or the factory getting the meat and turning it into patties and getting it out in time, or the meat getting to the restaurant in time, or there's all kinds of sort of panic stuff involved with these games.
yeah, there's they even had their own black DS with the McDonald's logo on it that they used in store. And like the game was so rare, like it would usually fetch almost $100,000 on auction.
Really?
Yeah, dude, it was insane. There's a whole YouTube video about it. I'm just like, oh my gosh. All right, so now let's work on. I'm gonna use the desert sand for his other leather straps, and that's because I'm hopefully will be toning it down a little bit. Actually, let's add some Miss Astral Auburn to it. So, and I will tell you, on shading leather, I love red leather shading. I do have a custom red leather wash. It's a brownish red, and you put it over any leather paint, and it looks like red, like the leather is stained red, and it's pretty cool. I really like it. So let's mix this together. I'm trying to get a lighter color for the strapping, and it'll tone down once it's washed. Let's see here. It's a lot of paint. think I'm gonna paint his hair. Do you think I should do his hair either a dark brown or black?
I think black would provide a really nice point of high contrast for the whole model.
Okay. Great. Make it hard. Just kidding.
Oh, listen, don't make me come over there. You paint it whatever color you think
Oh,
is
you
best.
have to get
You're
over
the
the
expert
you
here,
you
kid.
have to get over the border to get over here, buddy.
See? Oh, and you make it sound like that's an impossible task.
I don't know. The way things have been lately, they might not let you back into your country.
Oh, they love it when we come back into the country,
Uh-oh.
especially if you've been refused at the border twice in the last couple of hours. They laugh when you come back to our country.
Oh no, I will never go back to Canada again. I'll just tell you this now. I did not enjoy being treated the way I was treated in Canada.
Really? What part of
Yeah.
Canada did you go to?
Oh gosh, I went to the border crossing outside of Detroit, where they got that big casino at. I don't know where it is, but
Neither do I.
so I went there because I like to collect stamps in my passport, and so I was working in Toledo, which is like an hour away from Detroit, and I was sitting there at I was doing some training there, and I was like, and I really wish I knew Scott, aka Bake, at the time because I would have hung out with him, but like I was like, I'm going to go to Canada just to say I've been to Canada so I can get that stamp in my passport. Well, lo and behold, I get over there and they're like, "Why do you want to come to Canada, eh?" And I was like, "Really? I just want the stamp in my passport. I'm going to go over to that McDonald's and eat dinner and come back. That's it." So that was suspicious. So they completely tore the rental car that I had apart, right? And decided to investigate me. They asked me a million questions. I had to sit there for an hour getting asked hundreds of questions. Not really hundreds. But it was annoying as crap. It's horrible. And the dude said, "Why do you really want to come to Canada? Are you running from the law?" I said, "Listen, I have nothing to run from." I said, "I want to come to Canada because you all have Cadbury eggs in your McFlurries at McDonald's, and we don't have that in America. That's why I want to come to Canada." He said, "Okay, fair enough."
We do have good candy.
Well, it was in the McFlurry, and I was like, "Oh man, so mad. The guy treated me so mean." Okay. I do want to spend a lot more time with these paints as far as like I want to give them a fair shake. Like I don't think 2 hours is fair. I want to I want to experiment. I think we're going to experiment with this as well down the road. Um,
I'd like to
especially,
see you use some of the brighter colors in the palette too.
yeah, I want to
See
do
how they apply. And maybe something on a black prime model just to see
well.
how that goes.
Well, the main reason why I chose this model because I knew it would be safe, because I knew it would be browns, and I can mix a lot with browns, and I knew it was more of a safe model. The But I'm really enjoying just the way these things flow. They're not bad at all. Um, oh yeah, I forgot another model company which I don't own any of their paints is Scale 75. Now I have reached out to Citadel and Coat d'Arms and Reaper about getting some starter sets. I own enough Citadel to build the starter set like they would sell. So when we go to test those colors, I knew I would not get anything from Reaper. I'm not Reaper, but Citadel. They're just that way. You have to contact them at the right time of the year just to get anything donated. For the paint and takes that I do at conventions, usually that's provided to me by Army Painter because I teach their method at those shows. But like I've contacted these other companies before and they would not ever help me out. So Now, I will say I was quite surprised. Reaper did say they would send me a starter set to try out on here. So, we're going to try that out in a few weeks. And stuff. So, don't know if I'll like it or not. I do have a friend that's obsessed with Reaper, but I've not really. I mean, I've used their paints a couple of times in commissions, but no, I don't think they have a method yet. Because I mean, they'll probably be the standard method that you would have with painting, like Citadel does: base coats, shades, layers, highlights. So there's not really a lot of companies that claim to have a method. Anyway, okay, let's see here. Let's get out some snail shell.
But we're just asking all the important questions here.
Oh yeah, I know you are.
I also want to know if he has a curly, fluffy-haired dog or a fluffy, smooth-haired cat at home too. But it's got nothing to do with the paint, so I won't ask that.
He might. Now he does have a few friends that help him out. I don't know exactly what all they do for him, but I think probably shipping and stuff like that. So now we're using the snail shell, which is a cream colored. Now I do have a little bit of water in my brush, which I can't get out of, so it actually thinned the paint down a little bit more than it needed to be. So it's not the paint's fault. So, but the paint is going on really well. I always used a white base. Okay. So I used to use a lot of like white base coats and stuff, but I got to a point where I started using flesh tones as my base colors for a while, because it's easier to paint on. It's a neutral color. Let's see here. Let's mix some more browns. Yellow, 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 yellow. Just a little bit of yellow. And a little bit of red. Yeah, Vic. Yeah, the Reaper does have the triads, but they're fairly pricey too, and they're the only company that I've seen that had a triad of dark skin tones that actually admitted to having a triad of dark skin tones. So. Do a barrel roll. I'm not doing a barrel roll. Hey, Zach, why don't you post the link to your Etsy page, man? I'm pretty sure everybody needs a sign. Especially if they like playing Animal Crossing. It turned out the color I needed it. Great day. Flesh. Nah, I'm pretty sure the streamer won't ban you. I don't know about Dell though. He's a bit of a hard ass.
You know nothing about it.
Dang nabbit.
Just how hard I can be.
I'm not mixing the right colors here.
The bot got him.
Huh?
Now what would he be trying to post?
He's messing. Did our bot really get you, man? I think he's just messing with us.
Oh, Streamlabs also is telling him, please refrain from posting links without permission.
Oh.
Do not give him permission, Daniel.
I don't have access to give him permission. Let's do this.
Yeah, neither do I.
Let's see here. Hey. Man, I'm all about sharing people's websites tonight. Sorry, I had to move my mouse to the other side because of my ring light. Way fork. Wait, it's way fork, ain't it? Eight. Etsy says it doesn't exist. There it is. Here, you all try out this place. Boom. I'll post it. There.
That's not a long link at all, is it?
No, not at all. Where did that color go? Girl Flash, Sanguine, Astral Auburn. Go with this. Alright. A little bit more brown. This is me mumbling.
Some good looking signs there.
Is this brown or green? Oh, it's brown. You see what he's saying? Give me your money, please.
I don't have any. I'm a poor old pensioner.
Yeah, I am Canadian. Hey, man, I'm just giving you a hard time.
We have money up here. You go easy now on the Canadian.
I know.
Or I will come down there.
You need the potato farms. Okay, that matched that up pretty good. Let's bring it up a little bit. Okay. We'll try to do some muscle highlights. Nothing too fancy, just a little bit of highlights. I am enjoying the silicone though. I like the silicone. It's still not enough. I think it needs to go a little higher. Bloop. Alright, I think that might do it. So, a cool thing about doing, and we'll experiment with this a little bit more in the future, about doing highlights is you don't have to be perfect in the shade up that you go. Okay, let's see if we can see this. I got my mouse in the wrong area. Okay, so I've
Dated Mythwitch has a little thank you for you there in chat about your tips from the last time around.
Hey, thanks, Jaded. We are doing intro hobby kits tonight in the next few weeks. I believe it was you that had some questions about them. Now, okay, so let's see here. We got these highlights I'm doing right now, and they're kind of blatantly like, oh my gosh, look, it's off. It's a color. It's so bad. Well, okay. Now, this is your tip for the night. You can get away with this, and the reason for this is there's two reasons you can get away with it. One, model painting is all about exaggerations. So the method I'm doing right now is a really old school method of highlighting. Then I had to teach myself how to paint old school because I was relying for a long time on too much washing of my models, and my buddy John in Australia really got on to me about that. He said, "Oh, Daniel," and I was like, "Yes, John." He's like, "Oh, you paint so well, and all of a sudden you chunk a nasty wash on it." I can't do an Australian accent, by the way. And then just make it look horrible and stuff is pretty much what he was saying. So I learned how to actually do highlights and stuff, but to blend these in to make them look really nice and crispy, okay, is you take a glaze, and you can actually do a dark glaze of the darkest color that you use or of the lightest color you use, okay? and then you just throw the glaze all over it. And what that does is actually, we're just over that area, is it actually kind of helps with the transitions and smooths it out for you. So, um, and then a wash pretty much kind of does the same thing if you chunk it all over the model. Okay. My brush doesn't want to hold the tip tonight. I gotta clean it. Oh yeah, that's something else we'll try with this paint real quick. And then, what?
Said something else you want to try with the paint real quick?
Yeah, we're gonna clean the brush.
Oh. Sorry, I thought
That's
I missed some
no,
insightful
I want to see
observation.
how the paint reacts with my brush cleaner. You know that Winsor Newton brush cleaner that I use.
Right.
Okay. All right. Now the head. It's gonna get a lot more attention. Okay. Okay. Okay, cool, cool. I'm glad you like that. Tonight we're playing out with the Imperial Hobby paints. These are new paints out of Oregon. And I did post a coupon code if you want to try their paints out. It's the word haunted with a capital H. They're a new paint company out of Oregon. So if you want to try theirs out, so far it's been a very friendly paint. So, all right, now let's see here. We're going to need some gray. Actually, we don't really need a lot of gray. Okay, we're gonna put some of this here. Do need to do this eyeball first. The eyeballs. Let's see about the eyeballs. So I'm just gonna give him a little black eye right here. Okay, and a little black eye right here. But Jaded, if you have any other questions, just give us a holler. Okay, now go back to the snail shell. I need to get some of that out. There it is. So I'm really liking this. Okay. Do I ever really say that about paint though? Dale?
Well, actually, no. I don't think I've seen you this excited about paint since I first met you. Which
Listen.
hasn't been that long, honestly.
So,
But yeah, you are pretty excited tonight, I have to say.
so and I'll explain. Like, okay, when I went from craft paint to hobby paint, right? It was like a world of difference. And this is kind of like the jump between that jump that I had between craft paint and hobby paint.
So can you be more specific about what you think that
It just
paint is going
it
to
just
affect in the way you paint?
it just seems like it goes on a lot easier, and I'm not fighting it.
Even I have noticed a difference in that. For
And
sure.
it could be that it's
Like it, I think the thing that I like about it so far is the colors work really nicely, and where I see you dab the brush, the paint goes just there. It doesn't run all over the place.
yeah, and it's just I don't know. It's just they make
Well, it
me
offers you a level of precision that's
yeah.
pretty nice.
You know what they remind me of, and I will say this about Reaper: they have these paints called liner paints, and they're for kind of like pen washing. These kind of remind me of the Reaper liners because they provide a level of control. that I've not had in a long time with paint, and I might actually recommend these paints to some of my friends that have issues with mobility issues because they don't go everywhere. Okay, so now we're at this
And
stage.
yet the paint doesn't look like it's going on like overly thick either.
Yeah. So let's grab this dry brush real quick. We're gonna take and get a little bit of this black, a little bit of this gray, load up the dry brush with it. Okay.
In camera, dude.
I know. I'm just moving the. I went off screen to load the dry brush up. Use a little. This is the test with as much dry brushing as I do. How well it goes on. The gray pops up. Let's see here. Okay. Let's clear that out. Now let's take. Now a good way to do dry brushing. If you don't have like a lot of experience dry brushing, instead of going a color up, is always just to pick a color that you're going to dry brush with. So like this is the desert sand. Now, okay, so the thing about dry brushing is you've got to get your brush dry. Okay, so we're going to attempt to get the brush dry and keep paint in the brush. So because with it being as fluid as it is, I don't know how well it's going to do that. Oh, let's put some on my hand here. Okay, it's actually working really well. Wonder if they're going to have make any other shading colors. What's John got on? You know, I posted about these in the Discord tonight on Troll Lords in the craft section. And the guys were like, I don't know. I really like this brand. Those guys are missing out.
They surely are, my friend.
Let's do. I'm getting ready to order some new brushes. I might use the Army Painter for a while. I mean, I really like these Element games, but I've been using this same set of brushes for 4 years now. And it's all because I clean them.
Well, I think if you're going to adopt this new set of paints, then you probably deserve to get some new brushes to go with it.
Yeah. Okay, so my hands are shaky. Not. Let's use a little. I'm almost done though, and then we'll do a wash. So let's do. I want to use a gray. Let's do this great gray, coat gray on the base. Actually, let's do that last. I want to take some of this Hollands, and I'm going to use it as an oak, a wood per se. I'm going to put it on the axe here. Just to help make some lines. I'm going to keep that part down here solid, like it's an end knob. Oh, or what's that called? A pommel. So I kind of hope we can get some custom Troll Lord models made. I know there's been talk of trying to get some of Steven Chenault's monsters made. I hope that happens. I really want to paint them. Okay, we'll let that dry real quick. And we'll come in with the gray. I'm going to take this off its stand. Actually, no, I'm going to... I'll do an edge of black around the bottom of that, but I'm going to just do the top parts gray.
So have you ever ordered any models from Euroforge?
No. And it's only because I don't know why. I just never really had a desire to order any models from Hero Forge. I mean, I played around with like making custom models of myself, like holding dice and stuff, but like it's just nothing really ever appealed to me. You know. Let's see here. Yeah, this one's going on a little thin, but it's probably because I have water in my brush. We'll do an extra coat on it here in a minute.
You're making good progress tonight. We still have about 34, 35 minutes.
Okay. Okay, let's see here. Let's get the base dry. And I'm just now getting hungry. That's when I know it's about time. That 9:30 mark.
What's on the menu tonight?
I don't know. I don't have any popcorn. I'm out of popcorn right now. I have been making my popcorn with bacon grease, by the way. Like the worst thing in the world to eat popcorn with. It actually tastes really good though. That's the Southern Appalachian in me.
It's bacon grease, man.
It tastes great.
I know. Is there anything better? I still haven't figured out the age-old question. The question that's bothered mankind for millennia now.
What's that?
Would bacon-flavored beer be better, or would beer-flavored bacon be better? I'm undecided.
I don't know. I don't drink beer anymore.
But when you did, could you have thought of a better flavor? Really?
I don't know. I was a really a dark beer drinker myself. Now I could eat bacon with beer. I was
As our friend Jada just pointed out, yeah, I think bacon goes with everything.
Yeah, pretty much.
Man, he's like an oracle, really.
Oh, hush. Alright. Yeah, I've got too much water in my brush to get that base done right. Okay, dry again. I'll do one more coat. Okay, let's try this again. I'm gonna run this to the mixer, just make sure it isn't. This is the Imperial Hobby Paints paint brand. The owner is actually in chat, and he was kind enough to send us out some samples to try out about our intro to painting. This is actually so far been pretty good, and I would say this is very beginner friendly, especially when more colors are starting to come out. so you won't have to mix as much. I think that's another thing that hinders people is learning how to mix paint. Um, but as more colors come out, I think that's going to actually help out a lot for beginners, and maybe they might actually put together like a starter set, just of basic colors that you could use for like painting your D&D models and stuff like that. So okay, so we're gonna let the base dry, but we're going to go ahead and start washing the body. Wash that body.
Should always wash your body.
Yeah, so this is their high noon shade. I am going to give it a mix because I don't know. I've not opened this as far as like squirting a little bit on a piece of paper. So I don't know how well that holds up. But if it's anything like the rest of their... Well, come on, mixer. There we go. I use a Vortex mixer, guys. So let's try this shade.
Sounds like you're rapidly breaking knuckles.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to treat this like Army Painter, and I am going to slather. Yes, I use the correct word. I am going to slather this shade all over this model. Now, am I going to ruin it? I don't know, but we're going to find out. So it's a dark brown. It might not take a lot to do what we're going to do. So we may have to come up and do some finishing work as far as like coming in and re-highlighting some areas.
That is a big slather.
Yep. I'm hoping all the paint's dried well enough so I don't have to worry.
Now, isn't this where your Australian buddy would step in and say you were doing just fine, Daniel, but then you went and put a dirty old wash over everything?
Yeah, but the key is I've got to test it all. Like, I've got to see what everything does. You know, for the new user, they're just starting out, we've got to see what all the product does. So... Now, up until this point, I was super happy. Okay, and you know, and I've had some. I don't know how this is going to work. This could be awesome. Now, I will say that my favorite washes in the past have been pretty much the Citadel brand washes. Here we go. Put it on the axe. Okay, we're going to do that. Am I doing this right, Tyler? I'm scared. I planned on getting to the axe.
Put it on the axe was his suggestion.
I know. I planned on it. I was just getting around to it. I like to do it in sections.
You make all the excuses you need to.
Okay.
We like you just the same.
Okay.
And there it is, folks. The axe has got the treatment.
The treatment, yep. Oh, now that looks cool. The shoulder pad there, it looks really good. He's working fairly well in the leather here. Okay, it does stain down a little bit, so which is I'm used to that with Army Painter. Okay, um, Army Painter
What's that?
staining down.
Okay, jargon. You must explain.
Well, it means taking the color down a notch, but that's normally how I paint anyway. I take it to an 11 and bring it down to a 9, then bring it back up to a 10. Okay. Now, see, here's the thing, though, because I'm going to have to revisit this tomorrow. Because I have to let the wash dry. And then I can come back in and do a layer.
Still have 25.
Well, it's not. It won't dry that fast. Because you got to let the wash settle in the recesses. Okay. Let's move this around. May have applied a little too much. Okay. Wet my brush some here. There we go. Okay. Some of this clean water I've got over here. Alright. Tell you haven't lived until you've taught a bunch of 8-year-olds how to paint models.
And why is that?
Because they're insane.
And why is that?
Because they're 8-year-olds.
Okay, I know why they might be 8-year-olds. You still haven't explained nothing to me.
Well, usually at conventions, they're hopped up full of sugar, and their parents are like, "Oh, they can paint models while we go play D&D," and they just drop them off. So, and they hop them up on sugar, and I become the babysitter. But usually, when they're done, they're hooked. So, okay.
Are you saying that they don't have the fine motor control when they're hyped up on sugar like maniacs to do a proper paint job? Is that what you're saying, Daniel?
No, I'm saying that they're kids and they like the fine motor skills because they are children. Okay, so the water kind of acts like an eraser effect a little bit. So I can go in and hit the highlight areas. Actually, that looks pretty good the way it is. Now I'll probably go back in and do a dry brush over the entire model of a cream color. The sand will probably be it, just to pick out some areas. We got to see how it dries. So what do you think so far? Let's do the horn. But I'm gonna water it down a little bit.
I'm not buying the wash yet.
You're not buying the wash yet. Well, so here's the thing. Usually a wash isn't the final step. Okay? Not for me. Yeah, not for me. So. But you're also not a painter, Dale.
No, and I fully admit that and understand that. And I understand also that you're not at the end process yet. So.
Okay, so this is where we're at right now. And I actually like how it's darkened him up a bit. So let's try.
And that's the part I think that I dislike the most.
Well,
but again, all of what we just said moments ago still stands, right?
I'm gonna hit it far away, hot air. And I have a feeling that this is going to dry a little clearer than what it looks right now. let it sit for a second. So far, actually, it's actually doing. So you're seeing, okay, I'm going to explain something real quick. I'm going to bring it up really close here. You're seeing a very high contrast because I've got really bright lights on, okay? It's actually, to my eye, picking out the muscle definition just a little bit better than I, would have thought. It's actually looking really good. On this side, it is kind of like there's areas that I'm gonna have to touch up. Like I'm gonna hit the snail shell. I'm gonna hit the horns because those will have to be touched up some. So we'll come back in here. And let's see here. Nice touching up. Oh, hush, stack. Let's see here. Okay. See, I can't. I gotta wait a little bit for the wash to actually
Yeah,
dry.
don't mess it up to rush to the end point. I'm fine with it.
Yeah. Let's see here. Let's hit it again with some air. Hit it with the air. Now, I'm actually liking what it did with the muscles.
I get that. As it started to dry, but it's really toned down the differences between
Yeah.
the three sort of major browns that you were using. That's the part I'm not happy about.
Yeah, I understand that.
All the definition is like, yeah, it's suddenly very wicked looking.
But
Over the
I'm also used to using different colored washes. And you're used to watching me use different colored washes so far. So that's another thing. Let's see here. Hit the desert sand again. Let's try that out. Make sure we got some on the brush. So we'll come back in here. So we're going to hit the leather with the desert sand. See, now the model's a little soft from the hairdryer. Now, what I probably remember the rules from last week. I could not use anything outside of the actual range, or that I couldn't get in the range. So now, what I would do different with the wash next time would be I would take a little bit of my medium, like my wash medium that I have, just the medium part, and I'd probably cut it a little bit with the median. But I don't know how that would act. I could be doing it wrong, per se. And these are Elf brand eye brushes that I got at Walmart for $2 a pop. In my opinion, they're the best dry brushes I have gotten.
thinks your axe looks too good. I don't know if that's like some sort of bromance thing or what.
I don't know. I can't see what he's saying. I'm not looking at the camera. I'm looking at the model. Zach, just come on over and I'll show you what it looks like. He actually just lives about 20 minutes from me. Alright. So let's see here. I'm going to take and try that one out. Let's grab another brush. Let's grab one of our big boy brushes. Okay. Now we're going to load it up with our homemade metallics. That's what I'm still amazed about, is these metallics. Okay.
It's pretty nice looking stuff.
I know. We're going to test these other thing out here in just a second. Alright, let's go back to the snail shell. Work on these horns some more. And of course, you know, when I said slather it on, I'm used to Citadel washes. I don't even like the Army Painter washes anymore after I got used to Citadel washes. So it's a product. I've got to learn how to use it. And again, this is my first time actually painting a model with it.
Oh, and no criticism intended, man.
Well, no, it's not me. I just want to make sure I still like these things. They're really good. Okay. So, this is where we're at tonight. Alright, so let me look at it on the camera. See what you guys are seeing. Okay, so this is what we're at. Right. Again, you're seeing, let me soften the light above real quick. Boom. There we go. Okay. See, after I soften the light, it looks a lot different for you guys. I think I like how it's turned out. I really do. Now remember, guys, these are from Imperial Hobby Paints. Now this is the Wave 1 colors. They are new. I mean, this company, it's not even been a year, I don't think. Has it, Tyler? How long have y'all been operating? Hopefully he'll answer that question for us. So now, this is what we're going to do. This is the important part. First of all, I'm going to clean the brushes with soap. Soap! Okay. Get my little tin of soap out. Wet my brushes. Start cleaning my brushes. Woo, soap! Zach knows what's coming. Okay. Alright. Brushes got soap on it. Let's do this. My dry brush. Okay. Okay. Gotta get all the things. Less than a year, so like a lot of people don't know about this company yet. I've just learned about them in the past week or so, and I'm really liking it, guys. I will tell you this. I think a lot of these colors are better than Citadel. I mean, y'all know I mainly use Army Painter, but like, and some Vallejo, and I still use Citadel, but like, I don't prefer Citadel, but like, I think they're a whole heck of a lot better, and that's only because that's my preference. Other people like Citadel just fine. They are a highly pigmented paint. It's just I'm jaded by their paint pots mainly. So, All right, first thing we're going to do is we're going to do this. We're going to clean these brushes with soap. All right. I think y'all got a good product here. I just got to learn to use your wash a little bit more. Yeah, I'm jaded. All right, now here's the next thing. This is what I've fallen in love with lately. This is Winsor Newton Brush Cleaner and Restorer. This stuff is the bee's knees. So what we're going to do is pour a little bit into the lid. Okay. This will remove the paint off anything. Acrylic paint, that is. You'll actually see it start pulling the paint up here off the stuff it's already dried here in a minute. So let's do this. We're going to take these brushes and we're going to soak them in the paint remover. This is for acrylic. This is good for brushes made with hair. Okay. And I just recently really cleaned these. So we're going to see if it pulls any excess paint off. So it actually probably not got a lot of paint from this set in here, so which is actually kind of good. And let's try this one. Yeah, we're good there. There's a little bit of paint, but not a lot. So let's try the dry brush. Actually, I know there's paint stuck in this dry brush. Gotta let it sit, because I could see it in there. And these dry brushes are so cheap because they're makeup brushes. Walmart, $2 a pop. Elf. Like, there's some paint for you. I love this stuff. This is like the best brush cleaner that you can get. After you take and get out with soap what you can get out, you run this stuff through it. I don't let my wife know about this because she would have used it to clean out the brushes from where we painted the house last weekend.
How did that end up?
My back hurts. Still hurts.
Yeah, mine too.
Yours is from your computer chair.
How does it look, though?
Looks
Looks
good. Oh yeah, we're wanting to do the whole house. The trim though, remember what I said about the trim? That she'll want to do the trim after she did that because she'll see how much of a difference it was. Yeah, she's like, yeah, we need to do trim now. I was like, yeah, I know. Hey, what's in this? That's weird. I've never seen it do that before. Nice. Okay, you can see the paint coming out of this brush. Like, hardcore. It could have been paint that was in there beforehand. Alright, so let me give you my final thoughts about the Imperial Hobby Paints brand paints. Okay, guys. Let's see, wait a minute. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, we got some paint in it. Let's wash brush too. I like them. I'm gonna keep using them. And as time goes along and new colors come out, I'll probably end up buying them as when I can afford them. That means you all need to sign up for the Patreons so I can afford them in the future. But no, I really do like these. I'll probably be using these for a while. They are a lot smoother, a lot creamier. I'm going to try to airbrush with them next. See how that works out. Especially that black, because I've got some silver stuff I need to do for my Necrons. So I'm going to see how that works out. And stuff off that brush. Now you have to wash these again later with soap. You're actually supposed to let this stuff sit for like 24 hours. So let's see what it does here. Let's see how bad it destroys my silicone mat. Dang, what was that? But no, I really like them. For beginners, the only thing that I would say would be intimidating to a beginner is the fact that they have to mix some colors to get certain things. But that's going to be fixed in the future when it comes down to them with their new color line coming out. Look at that. Little smears. I have to take and clean all that up later. But anyway, the yeah, I really do like them. Again, the only thing would be new painters would probably have issues with mixing everything, and that's not really that big of a deal. The once you learn how to mix colors right, like making flesh tones isn't too hard, because you just got to do. You get your dark brown with your equal parts red, blue, and yellow, and then you can take and either put yellow in it to brighten it up some, to make it lighter, to make a tan color. If you need to make more of a Caucasian, just add white to it. If you need to add a little bit more red in it, because it doesn't look fleshy enough, then that's another thing. But the colors, that's the only color that I saw was missing, in my opinion, was a flesh color. But you can use that Highlands color here, this brown, and that can actually go for. I didn't even have to mix the other colors. I could have just added white to that and brought that one up, but I just wanted to be fancy. So, but I do like it. You all need to try them out if you can. And I'm talking about you, Zach. Buy these for your wife. She will kiss you all over. But anyway, I hope y'all had a great night tonight. Next week, hopefully, we will have Tyler on here. I'm going to come up with a list of questions for him, the hard-hitting questions. So we might not have, I don't know how long of a show we'll have. We'll probably do a Zoom call between me, him, and Dale, just to ask him questions and stuff. And I'll be annoying with that. So, but we'll have him on here, and we'll chit-chat. And the week after that, I think we're going to be doing the Reaper starter set. Then from there, we'll probably be doing an Army Painter starter set. And then after we do all that, we'll probably be switching gears just for a little bit. And I'm going to teach you guys how to make dice. It'll probably take about 2 weeks for me to show you all how to do that. I already have molds made. As y'all know, I do that on the side for some side cash sometimes for my hobby stuff. And then but I'll show you guys how to do all that. Because the first week will be mixing the resin. The second week is actually going to be like getting them out of the molds and doing everything to them. So, but anyway, you all have a nice night and take it easy. And if it's easy, take it twice. See ya.